with playing a Cyclops.
Yeah.
So, like, how does that affect, like, your eye lines when you're acting? Like, do you know, like, which eye, like, of your eyes, I guess, like, the VFX artists are tracking?
It's both. It's like
Oh, cool.
it made it really really easy for me. It's like I really didn't have to do too much technical. The most of the changes that we did were more in regards to the physicality. Having one eye, depth perception changes. Your peripheral is limited, and so how I react to sounds, to danger, like the movements are a little bit more stilted. It's like I have to be more careful. And so there's like a lot of creation in that I'm really, really excited about. But on the day, it was really easy. It was using my two eyes. I get to stare at everybody exactly the way that I would, or interact with everybody the way that I normally do when I'm working. And yeah, they made it really easy for me. So it was great. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Talking about the physicality.
Yeah.
Going from season 1 to season 2 and really upping it. I feel like you fought in every sort of element there was of season 1. Can you just talk about the difference between now and what you're looking for the fans to see with the physicality and stunts and etc.?
That's a really good question. I think, every season Percy gets better at fighting, and I think his style is very much, and we've kind of planned this out. I've with the stunt guys and just, where I wanted to end up in the future and how do we get there from here and every season it's like he just gets better at fighting, and I think what I love about the Percy fights and what's also incredibly difficult about them is that Percy's like he's just thinking on his feet constantly. You know what I mean? That's what just makes him such a good fighter. You know what I mean? It's the ADHD, and he's just making a decision last second constantly. So that's like when I have a fight with Luke or like Clarice, these characters are their fighting styles are like set, and then they make decisions and they go for it. Percy's very like, okay, there's a spear coming from my head. I should probably block that last second, or roll backwards or do something, get out of the way. And so that's what's always been difficult about doing the fight scenes. It's like waiting to that last second to react to stuff. You know what I mean? To make it look like I'm just thinking on my toes.
This question's for you, Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my opinion, this adaptation off of the book is the most faithful to the book. I mean, the book is set in the first person of your character. Of course, this version is a little different. You got the perspective of all the other characters. We'll talk to the other actors as well. What is it that you like the most? Did you research the mythology of the Greek mythology, or what do you like about being in that universe with all this mythological awesomeness?
I mean, I love Greek mythology. A lot of what I know about Greek mythology is from the books. Mm-hmm. So, I remember going when I was really, really young, and they're in the process of moving. We went and we went to the Louvre when I was really young, and I remember like the person that was like touring us around kept like walking up the Greek mythology stuff and telling me things, and I would correct her, but it wouldn't be right because like I'd mess things up, and I think Percy Jackson was real, and I'd be like, well, actually Medusa died very recently when Percy cut her head off, and stuff like that. So a lot of what I know of Greek mythology now is from the books. So yeah.
What's the relationship like between your characters as it starts? Then how does it progress?
Yeah, I mean, I think off the top, I think Tyson's stoked to be in Percy's life. I mean, he's been on the streets for the last little bit. Sally's taken him in, and so he finally has a bit of a home. He kind of has a bit of a momish kind of character, and he kind of has like this like older brother now. And so for him, it's the best thing that's happened to him probably ever. For Percy, I think it's a slightly different reaction because now there's a big kind of monster. I mean, again, you don't know that I'm a monster, I guess, at the top, but there's a big kind of being in his midst that doesn't necessarily make his life any easier.
No, not at all. I think it's very clear in the first, 5 minutes of episode 1. There's a little montage of how difficult Tyson makes Percy's life. But I think that's kind of part of their arc is Percy realizing that, I think he's a little embarrassed, by Tyson. And I think, the second that he finally thinks he's, starting to understand his life and take control of it, something changes and things are different. And I think, he kind of comes to accept Tyson at the end and yeah.
Nice.
How would you describe the scale of this season compared to the scale of season 1?
It's a lot bigger this season. Things are just different, you know what I mean? Because season 1, a lot of the places that, we were filming were Medusa's house and these like kind of smaller places that were easy to just, build a little set or like put in the volume, you know what I mean? But this season, it's like we need all this space to film in. And so we kind of ended up having to build a lot of that stuff. Like we built an entire ironclad ship. And like, Polyphemus Island, we filmed that, and a Soyuz, which looked amazing. And I think it's just a lot of fun. You know what I mean? You get to film on location and I don't know. It's nice because you never have to, on the volume, I'd find myself sometimes like, we're outside and it's supposed to be a nice and breezy day and it'd be like burning hot because, because a lot of TV screens around you.
It's the OLED wall volume.
Exactly. Yeah. The volume looks amazing and, especially for that Tornado Love sequence, it was spectacular. But, this season I think we just needed to actually make everything and do everything,
Looks great. So I can't wait to the next season.
Yeah, especially you saw it in the trailer. He had to block a fireball with his arm, and that was fun seeing how that worked. There's a lot of tests like with the fire and lighting his actual arm on fire.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think. Yeah, like you were asking, it's just so much more expansive at that point because you don't have to create a world within the screens, and so there's so much you're able to utilize and so much you're able to play with a little with more detail and more precision, and so I think as an actor, it's just infinitely more interesting to act with a real environment. You get the cold, you get the wind. When you're on a boat and you're actually on the waves, it's just like you don't have to pretend like you're kind of moving up and down. And so much of your energy is able to go into the relationship rather than like building out the physicality of what this potentially could be.
Yeah.
And so it really opens up the space to kind of emotionally connect more intensely, I think, while also like visually looking absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
Speaking of the technology, have y'all experimented or done anything in y'all's acting with this as anything else with fourth generation mocap with VR or anything that deals with like the future fourth generation filmmaking with this project?
I guess with the Minotaur, Arian's legs constantly, those are always CG.
Right.
He always has to wear those like bright pants with little sensors on them. But I mean, like with Tyson's eye, it was very easy to film with because, you'd expect like them to put a bunch of dots on his face or, have to look at one eye only. But the way they did it is like they merged both of his eyes. So we could just act with Daniel, which was super helpful.
That's cool.
It's always super, like with Boone sometimes, who plays Chiron, you have to look slightly ahead of him when you're talking to him. And it's weird how much of a difference that makes when we're trying to act with someone. You know what I mean? Just looking slightly, even like a foot ahead of him. You it just completely knocks you off. You know what I mean?
You need the next generation filmmakers, the future.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You guys had quite a time from season 1 to season 2. Can you just explain rebuilding that chemistry and jumping back into it? Was it easy? Was it keeping in touch, or was it just okay? We have to do these things outside of.
I think it was relatively easy. I mean, season 1 it was, Leah and I were the youngest, and then there was Arian, and then there's like Charlie who seems so much older than us, and then Dior who was also older than us. But now it's kind of like I feel like season 2 it felt like we kind of caught up to him a little bit, which was nice, and then Daniel just he fit in so easily with the rest of us, which is really nice, and it was. We're really lucky we got Daniel because he kind of fit right in with the rest of the cast, and
I'm really like I got them. It's one of my a dream job for me, and I mean, again, also watching them from season 1. It's like coming in with certain expectations and completely different human beings. I mean, obviously the heart and the soul of everybody was the same, but there's so much more maturity, so much more complexity. I think when you're growing up, you're starting to find some different aspects to yourself, and to be able to watch them put that on screen was so cool. And again, they accepted me so quickly, which was, as an actor, a dream, because you're coming into a family that spent so much time together, and especially for something so intense and such a big project, there's a lot of stress around that I think binds you even tighter. And for them to kind of open their arms to me and allow me to kind of just enter in and build the character with them was, I was just really grateful, because it's, a lot of pressure coming into a season and a show that's this big. Right. And so if you're having to focus on the just being able to kind of fit in with everybody rather than the work. I think it takes away a lot from where you're able to build, especially early on in the season. I think no matter what, you catch up over time, but from day one, you want Tyson to be something that's engaging and really interesting. Otherwise, I think the show falls flat. And so these guys are a huge part of me finding my footing really, really early.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.